Okay. When people started complaining about the characters in this game, Marathon, I didn't know what they were complaining about. I didn't know what they were talking about, really, because I thought it was characters people created. You pick male or female, you add some stuff, customize it, and then maybe later they'll sell DLC or you unlock it or something to customize the characters a bit more, whatever. I didn't know they were supposed to be specific characters, like heroes. It's a hero shooter. It's also an extraction shooter, but knowing that, I guess it is kind of weird that I didn't even know they were supposed to be specific characters. I didn't know it was a hero shooter just by looking at it. I had to find out later, and now I get why people were complaining about it. Yeah, it seems kind of hard to even tell the difference between them. They just look like random, kind of generic characters in the general art style. Not trying to be mean, I'm just saying I didn't even know that it was supposed to be specific characters. But yes, people have wondered why they're doing that. They said, hey, why are they doing that? Instead of, generally like shooters, you make a character and you have a loadout, there's like a class or something, like medic or whatever. Why don't they just do that and let people pick their abilities or whatever, their loadout? I think Hunt Showdown does something like that, But if I had to guess, I think it's probably to sell characters, right? To sell them either directly or to sell a season pass, right? A battle pass, whatever, where you unlock the characters faster. Maybe you can grind for it eventually, but or just buy the characters. So I think they're probably going to try to sell the characters. It's probably for the sake of monetization, okay? It's not for story or anything, because that's another thing. People saw the trailer. They think it looks good, the cinematic trailer, And they thought, wow, that sounds cool. Wow, a sci-fi kind of cyberpunk game, kind of like BioShock or something, or whatever, like a single-player RPG. No. There's no single-player, there's no RPG, there's no PvE, there's no story, there's like nothing here. There's a trailer, a cinematic, and then it's just PvP only. It's an extraction shooter. It's like Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown. There is no story, none of this. People saw this and thought it looked cool because they started with a cinematic and made it seem like it, kind of like with We Happy Few, they did that. And then people were like, wow, that seems really cool. I love this. This is going to be a really cool story, a really interesting story. Oh, it's going to be like sci-fi, maybe kind of like horror. Oh, wow, it's going to... No, actually. It's not. It's a multiplayer only, $40 PvP extraction shooter that also has heroes, characters, a hero shooter, I guess, with abilities. See, this seems cool. It seems like it's going to be some dark, edgy, gritty, cyberpunk, sci-fi future. No, it's just an extraction shooter. And the in-game graphics don't quite, like, the art style doesn't quite look like the cinematic to me. I mean, obviously the cinematic might look better, but you'll see later if I show some gameplay. We'll see if I get around to it, but there wasn't that much. It doesn't quite look like this. It looks a little bit more cel-shaded, kind of like Valorant, but not as well, like, not as much definition as Valorant, not as clear with the art style. It just kind of looks, I don't know. I don't want to be harsh, but a bit like cartoony or whatever, and not in a good way, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm imagining it. I only saw like 10 minutes of a small square that they showed in the live stream. They did a live stream for 3 hours, and there was like 10 or 20 minutes of gameplay. Most of it was like nothing, literally nothing happening. And then finally they talked for a while, and then they showed some people playing it for a couple minutes. But see, this makes it seem like there's going to be a story. That it's like psychological and crazy. But there's not. That it's like artsy, right? That it's like an art house kind of cinema. No, there's nothing. There's literally no story or campaign, and people are complaining about that. Because it's clearly appealing to those kind of people, but it's not going to have that. And not even a PvE mode. You can't even just play PvE, apparently. You have to play PvP or else there's nothing. So you pay $40 and you go around and shoot each other over and over again. And it's not even casual, because if you get killed, you lose all your stuff. People take it. That's the point of an extraction shooter. So you can fail and get poorer in the game. And at the same time, it's also made a bit more casual in certain ways, and they also want to make sure that in this edgy, hardcore, cyberpunk, sci-fi extraction shooter thing that they're doing, that people don't say anything mean to anybody, So there's no proximity chat. That's right, so you can't talk to people in this game unless they're on your team, I guess. At that point, you're probably talking on something else anyway, but if you're running around solo and you walk up to somebody, a team, a random person, you can't speak to them. You can't use your microphone. No option. I understand having the option to turn it off, but no, it's just not a thing. You can't even turn it on. Let alone being something that's on by default, which it should be. Much older games have proximity chat. It's not something that they just can't do. They're doing it purposely so they can say that there's no toxicity. Because if nobody can speak, then as far as we know, everybody really likes each other. This is to appeal to casual people who don't want to be insulted one time by a teenager or a kid or something playing, because it would be so, I guess, so terrible. But that means that all the social elements are pretty much gone, other than going in with a full team of people. You already know, right? And people like negotiating and saying, hey, don't shoot, hey, I won't shoot you, and backstabbing each other, or maybe actually working together and maybe teaming up later, that's gone. So it's ironically less social than some hardcore, more like military simulation, shooter. I mean, I guess Escape from Tarkov's not full-on simulation, but you know what I mean. It's trying to be more realistic and gritty and everything, you know what I mean? You have to, eat food and, I guess that's it, you eat food. Look, I haven't played it, but I've seen videos. The point is, I don't know who this is going to appeal to. I mean, a small niche of people, sure. But the art house people, the people who want to play what do you call it? The thing with the blue-haired woman and the woman who has magic time powers. People who play that, a game that's all about people speaking to each other, they're not going to play this game that's only PvP and there's no story or anything. Okay, they see the characters with all the paint and everything, they think they like that, but then there's going to be nothing in it. There's going to be nothing in the game that they want. And people who like the hardcore military, shooters, things like Escape from Tarkov, I don't know if they're going to like the art style. And I really don't think they're going to like the things like no proximity chat and just kind of simplifying things, making it more casual because they want the depth and they want the basically misery. Okay. If they wanted pure fantasy, there's, what is it, Darkest something? There's a fantasy, Darkest Darker? I don't remember, but there's already other, there's going to be a duck-based one also pretty soon. So I'm just not, it's going to be a very niche game, I think, for this. A niche audience. Because extraction shooters is already a niche audience, and then this art style and everything, and the casual thing they're going with, seems like it's going to be a niche from the niche. And the people who would be interested in the stories and characters and maybe would play the multiplayer after that, they're not going to come because there's no single player, there's no campaign, they're not apparently even planning to make one. There's nothing. It's just random stuff. So I don't know quite what audience they're aiming for. $40 with battle passes and DLC. No single player, no campaign, no story. An extraction shooter, no proximity chat, just very casual. I don't know what the idea is here. Let me start something else. Oh, here's the gameplay trailer. Should I use audio? No. They might play music or something and get it like a copyright. I'm not gonna deal with it. Is this actual gameplay? They really don't show it for long. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It's gameplay, guys. Is it starting yet? This looks more like a cinematic. This doesn't look like gameplay. Can you just show gameplay? Okay, you can throw grenades and turn invisible. Oh, wait, here's some gameplay. Here's a couple seconds of... Oh, nope. There's a hacking thing. Okay, they've cut away from that. There's stuff you pick up. An extraction shooter, okay. Wow, this is, a lot of cutting. A lot of cutting. You, reload guns. It's good that they're showing us how you reload guns. That's good. Well, all right, I don't know what that is. Shields, magic shields. And then you throw stuff and it explodes. I mean, see, let me show you. Now look, this is the environment you're going to be in. There's trees and everything, but that's like in the background. Like this bright yellow and the blue and everything. Does this look like it would appeal to the people who play Escape from Tarkov or whatever? It doesn't even quite look like the cinematics, really. It looks... I mean, there's color. There is color, technically, but it's not like a weird dystopian sci-fi kind of thing going on. It's just like, I don't know, some modern... It's just random paint, basically. Yellow and blue and... okay. Right? It's just blue and yellow and colors flashing everywhere. It's like... But it's also not super colorful either for somebody who wants like a really crazy... There's just like blue and yellow all over on some things. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of industrial and kind of just really colorful for no reason, and people's blood is going to be blue because they're robots or something, or they're controlling robots. I don't know. Now you just speak and act like normal people in the cinematic trailer. I had it muted, but you can take my word for it, I guess. Or I'll go back and show a little bit of it. See, and the buildings are like rounded. Everything's rounded, no edges. I don't know. It's just weird, and it's not like a retro futuristic thing either. It's not like it's just kind of random corporate art. To be honest, that's kind of what this looks like. I guess maybe that's the idea, that you're in a corporate dystopia thing. But it just feels like the game itself is, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, it's... Maybe this will look good when you're playing it. I mean, this looks fine. You know, some of this looks fine, but inside it looks alright. But the outside kind of... I don't know. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, this has more of the right vibe to it. Not like I'm saying it's crazy, the most beautiful thing ever, but when you're outside, it just kind of looks like random blocky, like, stuff going on. Like, I don't know, it's just... And that's what you're going to be seeing, not the character you're playing as, because it's first person. So even if somebody liked the look of a hero in the hero shooter, they're not going to see it. They're going to see the area. Yeah, that looks fine. Like I was saying, I don't think it's going to like be a complete flop, where they have to shut it down in a few days, like Concord, but I don't think it's going to make like a ton of money like Marvel Rivals or something. I think it might have some people who like Halo and Bungie or whatever, Destiny. Some people who just want to try a different extraction shooter for something different, or haven't played one, they want to try it. And then some of those people might stay and keep playing it. You know? Some people might like the art and like, yeah, that looked nice. Some of these things look fine. I don't know how much money they spent on this. You'd think they didn't spend that much, because it seems very niche, even though they're trying to expand it by, I don't know, making it casual and simpler and making sure people can't say anything negative to other people. You know, no proximity chat. But that's just going to make less people want to play it, because there's no speaking to other people. And the game's purely PvP. It's purely about playing with other people. And you can't even speak to most other people. It's just very weird. It's very strange design. I don't know why you would purposely do that, but... Well, again, we have an idea. It just doesn't make any sense, actually. Well, that's... most of this is just cinematic, even though it said gameplay overview trailer. I guess it's showing the concept that you walk forward and run and jump, and... I mean, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of movement stuff, but technically you can move in it. And, you know, you shoot people, you throw some grenades or whatever, alright. Anyway, when does this come out? September 23rd, 2025? Oh. They're not coming out until September? Why even announce it now? The little bit of hype people have for it is it should be coming out in a couple of days or like maybe a month or two in summer. Wait, why not release it in summer when kids have like summer break off? Maybe a few of them would want to play this for $40. Again, probably making it free to play would have more people try it, but all right, if you want people to buy it and play it and give it a chance, why September? Isn't that when that's when people go to school and everything? And then you're going to immediately people are going to be like wanting to save money for like holidays. Like that seems like the worst time to do it. And people want to buy horror games in October. Even a little before October. And this is going to have no story and not really be a sci-fi horror game. It'd be fine if it was, but it's not. I get you can't just push it up further if it's not ready, but at that point, why not just wait until like, I don't know, the holidays or something at least? Or it's just a weird time. I don't know, September, right after summer when it's all over. Let's read some of these comments. Post-launch, a lot of stuff's going to come after it's out, and if it makes enough money, which is part of what makes people even less likely to want to spend money on these things, because they know that if there's not enough money spent, they're just going to slow down development, maybe drop it. Nothing's going to come about if it's not great at the beginning. It'll only get more work done on it if it makes enough money. And if it doesn't, then the people who spent the money pretty much wasted their money because it's just done after that. They might even shut down servers. Concord's gone. I mean, I think they got refunded because it was like only up for a couple of days, right? But if it's something that lasts for a few weeks or months or whatever, then maybe you don't get a refund. And if you liked it, then okay, you can't play anymore. And if you didn't really like it, then you wasted your money and your time trying to... And it's not going to be better because it's just done. You know, it's just a weird business strategy these companies keep doing. They've trained people to not want to spend money because they might get fucked over by these people for spending the money and get left holding nothing, right? Oh yeah, and you can revive teammates. I don't know if that's normal in the extraction shooters or not. But, you could technically, I guess, hypothetically, maybe there's a timer or whatever, but just keep reviving people over and over again on your team. Get a bit ridiculous. I thought it was supposed to be a little bit more about survival, but all right. And there is supposed to be a solo mode, but we don't know if that means that it's, you know, people queuing solo and they only go against other solo players, or if they mean that other people will queue in teams, and if you queue solo, you'll be against tons of people in teams, and you'll just get destroyed and have no chance, because not only are they in a team, and there's no proximity chat, so you can't even talk to random single players and try to team up if you, for some reason, wanted to or needed to, whatever. So if it's single player queue against only single players, that could be okay. And hey, I mean, there's not going to be proximity chat, so I guess it's just a random, just going around shooting people at that point. But if it's against random teams, then I don't think a lot of people are going to want to play the single player mode. And if they just wanted to play it single player and they didn't want to go into teams, then they're probably just not going to play it much after this, right? And it's a more of a live service game, so you kind of want people to keep playing it and buying things. So,
Pitch, I'm not sure if you guys have any different takes on that. Did I get anything wrong or like miss anything?
I think there's no solo queue, but you can play by yourself and you can turn crew fill off.
Correct.
Right?
You're right. Sorry, you're absolutely right. You're right. You can go like one person versus squads of 3, but you can't go on a map with just like 17 other solo players. That's not a thing. Yeah.
But the thing I think I found interesting is the emphasis on like, yes, Tarkov, like extraction simulator style game, but you're with 2 other people. So the trio thing kind of makes it a little bit more, I guess, accessible. That's probably their idea.
But yeah, if this was like a single player game with a story, I think it could make a pretty decent amount of money. Even if it also had an extraction multiplayer thing on top of it, right? Maybe it was even tied in where you like can grind PvE stuff and then you go and do PvP stuff for bigger rewards or whatever.